Final segment here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. The Sixers now 27-21 after a 128-113 victory over the Los Angeles Clippers, who were without James Harden tonight. By the way, the Sixers game and a half up. They are sitting in sixth place, game and a half up on the Miami Heat, game and a half back of the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But we have to talk about the news that happened during the game as the Clippers were getting blown out by the Sixers. James Harden away with personal reasons. This weekend he was in Arizona State as they were releasing their new James Harden jerseys and uniforms for the Arizona State basketball team, his alma mater. So he was there this weekend. They had a game in Phoenix on Sunday. They won. Back in LA on Monday night for the Sixers, he was not there. Okay. As we said, Kyle, that's their problem. But it turns out now that reports were stating that Chris Mannix really got things going. Clippers, Cavs have had advanced discussions on the James Harden, Darius Garland swap. And I had saw that M Grads, a basketball Twitter account that's been around for a while and just been around for a while, he had it at like 10 o'clock and 10 o'clock this evening. And then Chris Mannix had it a little bit later. And this was with the Cleveland and the Clippers deal here. So, Derek, how surprised are you that this dropped? We haven't heard much. We talked about the pregame, 22 games. They have 18-4 in 22 games. They last 22 games. He was discussed as an all-star, potential all-star, reserve out west. And then we get this. Pretty surprised.
Yeah, and I think it's a little more surprising to me from the, from the Clippers perspective. Like, I think the Cavs, how they're viewing it makes sense, even though I don't love giving up on a young player like Garland at what feels like a much lesser value than it would have been a year ago at this time. But I think from the Cavs perspective, like, they're underachieving. Harden's a pretty good fit in the short term, a year shorter on the contract in the long term. And you just don't have a ton of confidence that Garland's going to get back to where he was after all the injuries he's sustained. So I don't love it necessarily, because I like the way Garland was playing and developing before this latest string of injuries. And it does feel like selling pretty low on his value, but I at least understand it. From the Clippers perspective, like, I guess they're just trying to get the younger player and hope he can turn it around. But I'm not 100% sure. I think it's probably just getting the younger player and hoping he can turn it around. It is maybe a tough sell considering how well they were playing. And, Kawhi obviously wants to compete. But it's not like Garland's a bad player. He's just not what you hoped he would become, and maybe what you hope he would grow into that contract as.
I am just confused as to how you arrive at this place when they have literally been the hottest team in basketball, and they're like, you know what we need to do? Trade one of our most
the engine of the
players.
offense.
Like, so I said to you guys before the show, I asked you, what would you be more likely to believe? That James Harden got wind that they were shopping him for whatever reason. There's just a great opportunity out there that they could get a younger guy, blah, blah, blah. And James got wind of it, and now he's pissed. And so now it turns into a media leak off. Or the more fun conspiratorial option, which I believe our friend X-Man in the chat has been hitting. James Harden somehow got wind of a secret verdict coming down based on the tree planting or not tree planting scandal. And he knows that Kawhi is going to get the proverbial death penalty from the NBA. And he's trying to get out while the getting's good. That outcome is much funnier to me. It's like a much crazier angle. I don't think that's what's actually happening, though. And that's why the whole thing is so confusing, because I'll say this as nicely as I can, because I don't have anything against the good people of Ohio. James Harden doesn't strike me as a Cleveland guy. It does not really feel like his vibe. And I even joked in the Discord. I was like, well, he might be able to send a lot of young ladies from Toledo through college based on what we know about his off-the-court habits. But I'm not understanding the cultural fit. I'm not understanding. Like maybe you just say we don't trust Garland's health if you're Cleveland. James Harden next to Donovan Mitchell is a combo we can work with. It gives you.
And Harden, say what you want, he doesn't miss games outside.
Right, he's durable.
Outside of when he's cranky.
Yeah.
Outside of when he doesn't want to play for you anymore.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I can understand it from the Clippers end if you just say, we want to try to take the flyer that this guy's going to be much better over the next few years. But it's the James Harden living in Ohio part that I'm really
questioning that.
I don't mean that as disrespect to absolutely anybody. I have been to some wonderful places in Ohio. I think James is actually a pretty misunderstood guy overall. Like, I liked covering him. I think he's
that aspect of him's not misunderstood though. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, like he likes his time off the floor, and I would not say in particular that Ohio is like the nightlife capital of the Midwest. So
no,
we'll see what happens. But it's a very interesting philosophical thing happening here.
So Ramona Shelburne, I was looking at her tweet. Ty Lue said that he can't comment specifically on any trade discussions, of course, or involvement with James Harden, but, quote, he means a lot, end quote, to the franchise. When asked if he's a guy he hoped would be here past the deadline, Lue said, quote, who wouldn't want to have James Harden, end quote. So we'll see where that goes from here. But as we were doing our thing here, and Tom Azerly out there in Los Angeles says that the Clippers and the Timberwolves have had discussions surrounding a James Harden deal as well. Kyle, I don't know if that's another city that he.
They must really be pissed off at James at this point.
Do we have there's got to be. Maybe someone needs to create.
Can we get an
OKC
rumor going too? Like,
do we have?
He was there before.
Is there an NBA Gentlemen's Club reporter that can give us like a rundown?
Call Lou Will, man. He's in the media now. Lou is in the media.
So first of all, if there's not a club in Minneapolis called the North Pole, I would be absolutely floored. By the way, but so in that instance, Minnesota as a team acquiring him, I understand a lot more.
That makes sense.
They're in the market for guard help. They have been for a long time. They drafted Dillingham, struck out. They've been playing Bones Highland a lot. They need somebody who can be like a real table setter for that team. Now, whether you want to pay the money that James Harden is making this year and next to get that type of player, I don't know. And I don't know what that trade potentially looks like. But that is a lot more interesting in terms of giving them something they don't have. Whereas the Garland stuff, it really just feels like they don't trust him to stay healthy at this point.
Yeah.
By the way, doesn't Harden have a trade veto? If James Harden okays a trade to Minnesota, again, the good people of Minnesota, this is nothing against you. I have friends there who are one of my best friends on earth lives in Minnesota. I can't picture James Harden living in Minnesota. It's just such a funny concept to me.
I guess the Anthony Edwards part, though, that's enticing.
The power of Ant-Man at work right there.
Yeah. Yep. So Azerly also has something in the story talking about similar to what we dealt with here in Philadelphia. Apparently, he wanted a 2-year, $80 million extension. Reportedly, 2-year, $80 million extension. Clippers not so keen on that, and as a result, maybe he, got a little bit frustrated. So I know you guys dealt with it way more than I did, being down there in the locker room, in the arena, and all. But something that we are all too familiar with here in Philadelphia. So interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. And that one I did not see. I did not see that one happening for the Clippers and James Harden.